8 common foods forbidden to Jews. 1. Ham. But it's more complicated. Most people know that Jews don't eat pork. But did you know rabbit is likewise taboo? These restrictions are governed by one rule. Land animals must have split hooves to be edible. Additionally, they must chew the cud. In other words, only certain herbivorous ungulates are okay. This means cows, goats, sheep, or deer are fine. But pigs, rabbits, and meat-eating animals are not. Strangely enough, locusts are also kosher. It's the only invertebrate Jews are allowed to eat. Reptiles or amphibians are forbidden without exception. The hoof regulation doesn't apply to poultry, of course. All birds are kosher, except birds of prey. But birds of prey aren't generally eaten anywhere. 2. Cheeseburgers and pizza. Of course, the Torah does not mention these foods. Instead, there's a commandment that says, "Do not boil a kid in its mother's milk." Exodus 23:19. In Judaism, this is interpreted rather broadly. Dairy products cannot be consumed with meat products, so no milk, yogurt, or cheese, and even touch meat dishes. A hamburger is kosher, but a cheeseburger isn't. Jewish kitchens always have separate cookware for meat and dairy. You can't even cut cheese and salami with the same knife. Some Jews take it a step further. They avoid mixing the two types of food in their stomachs. They'll wait 6 hours before drinking milk, after eating chicken, for example. 3. Lobster, shrimp, scallops, and other seafood. Basically, everything except fish is treif, non-kosher. The book of Leviticus says, "Everything in the waters that has fins and scales, whether in the seas or in the rivers, you may eat." So Jews can only eat fish, but not all fish. Catfish, sturgeon, marlin, shark. These are all taboo. Shark fin soup or jellied eels may be delicacies elsewhere, but not in Israel. 4. Any fruit from a young tree. This is another specific rule from Leviticus. No fruit may be eaten from a tree in the first 3 years of planting. This also applies to grapes and wine produced from them. 5. Bread baked by non-Jews. This rule is rabbinical, i.e., it doesn't come from the scripture. It was originally introduced to prevent intermarriage. Bread was a staple food and thus unavoidable, so marrying a Gentile wife meant going without it. However, many Jewish communities devised a loophole. It was enough for a Jew to add some wood to the fire. The bread baked in this oven would then be kosher. 6. Meat from non-Jewish slaughterhouses. Only animals slaughtered by Jews are kosher. Jewish dietary laws prohibit the eating of carrion. Judaism makes no distinction between roadkill and game meat. If it hasn't been properly slaughtered, it's treif. 7. Unwashed lettuce. Actually, all unwashed leafy vegetables are taboo. It's not about hygiene or health. Judaism considers the consumption of insects a sin. Lettuce, artichokes, and similar vegetables are unsafe. There's always a risk of accidentally eating a tiny aphid. To avoid this, leafy vegetables are always separated into leaves. Each leaf is meticulously checked and cleaned. 8. Wine of libation. No wine used for idolatrous practices can be drunk. This applies to wine produced by Christians. Wine made by Muslims is usually kosher. Jews aren't even permitted to drink wine touched by a Gentile. However, it's okay if the bottle is sealed.